Okay, welcome in one all. I know I'm a little bit behind, but I will now be reviewing all of Sunday's action from the NHL. There were 6 games on tap, starting with the teams you see on your screen as the Ottawa Senators went into Philadelphia to take on the Flyers. All right, let's take a look at the game recap. So Zamolo kicked things off for the Flyers with 8 minutes and 13 seconds to go. His fourth goal of the season from Farabee and Cam York, a power play goal to note. Zamolo would then get his second goal of the game, his fifth of the season, with 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Farabee and Atkinson. So after 20 minutes of play, it was 2-0 in favor of the Flyers. Zach McEwen would give the Senators their first goal of the game, his second of the season, 4 minutes and 4 seconds of that frame. Farabee, who had already had 2 assists, would on the goal score sheet himself with 9 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. He would get a power play goal, his 17th of the season from Zumba Konechny. Tim Stützle would score less than a minute after, 55 seconds to be exact, cutting the deficit to 3-2, getting his 9th goal of the season from Pinto and Chabot. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 3-2 in favor of the Flyers. In the third period, Claude Giroux, a former Flyer, would tie the game up 3 minutes and 19 seconds into the frame, getting his 14th goal of the season from Brady Tkachuk and Bernard Docker. Tarasenko would get a go-ahead goal for the Senators with 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go, his 12th of the season, assisted by Matthew Joseph. Tim Stützle would get his second goal of the game, his 10th of the season, assisted by Chichurkin with 1 minute and 23 seconds to go. So 5-3 would be the final score. The Sens would come back after trailing in the game. So with the victory, the Sens unfortunately are still in last place of the Atlantic Division with a record of 17-24-1. And despite the loss, the Flyers are still sitting second in that Metropolitan Division with a record of 25-16-6. All right, the next matchup takes place in Carolina, where we have the Hurricanes, and they played host to the Minnesota Wild. So I'll just get the teams loaded on the screen, and we'll take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. In the first period, with just under 6 minutes to go, Nietzsche would kick off the scoring for the Hurricanes, notching his 11th goal of the season from Nowitzki and Drury. Kaprizov would tie the game up with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go, getting his 16th goal of the year from Bosky and Rossi. So after one period of play, it was 1-1. In the second period, Kaprizov will get his second goal of the game, his 17th of the season from Boldy and Eriksson Ek, 6 minutes and 18 seconds into the frame, and there's no other scoring for the remaining of the periods. After 2 periods, it was 2-1 in favor of the Wild. Bunting would tie the game up in the third period, 8 minutes and 17 seconds, getting his 10th goal of the season from Jarvis and Sebastian Aho. Eriksson Ek would get on the goal score sheet himself, giving Wild a 3-2 lead. 9 minutes and 32 seconds into the frame, his 19th of the season, assisted by Broden and Faber. Kaprizov would complete the natural hat trick, getting his third goal of the night, his 18th of the season from Faber, and that goal happened with 2 minutes to go in the frame. And then Middleton would increase the lead to 5-2, his 7th of the season from Zach Bogosian and Eriksson Ek. So the Wild would have a wild game, to say the least, and get a 5-2 finish. So with the victory, the Minnesota Wild are 20-21-5. And despite the loss, the Hurricanes are still sitting third in that Metropolitan Division with a record of 25-15-5. All right, the next matchup takes place in the Atlantic, where we have the Red Wings, and they played host to the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, let's take a look at this game review. In the first, Victor Hedman would kick things off, 8 minutes and 45 seconds into the frame, his 9th goal of the season, assisted by Kucherov and Braden Point. Lucas Raymond would tie the game up with 1.5 minutes to go, his 13th of the season from Larkin and David Perron. In the second period, Daniel Sprong would give the Red Wings a 2-1 lead, his 12th goal of the season, assisted by JT Compher, and that happened roughly 9 minutes into that second period. There was no other scoring for the remaining of the game, so 2-1 the final score in this matchup. So with the victory, the Red Wings are now 24, 17, and 5. They are currently in the number 1 wildcard spot, and the Lightning are just behind them in the number 2 wildcard spot with a record of 24, 18, and 5. All right. The next matchup takes place in New York on Long Island. We have the Islanders. They played host to the Dallas Stars. So I'll get the team's logos up on the screen. The big news, obviously, for the Islanders is the coaching change, and they now have a Hall of Fame goaltender as their coach in Patrick Waugh, and he would get his first win behind the bench. And we'll take a look at this game review from this matchup. Romanov would kick things off for the Islanders in the first, getting his 5th goal of the season from Barzal and Dobson 2 minutes and 52 seconds into that opening period. In the second, Robertson would tie the game up, assisted by Pavelski and Faksa with 8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the frame. With just under 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes and 52 seconds to be exact, Lundqvist would get his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Steele and Pavelski. So after 20 minutes of play, it was 2-1 in favor of the Stars. In the third, Fasching would tie the game up, getting his 3rd goal of the season, 5 minutes and 23 seconds in the frame, assisted by Dobson and Brock Nelson. We would need extra time in this one, and it just took 41 seconds in the overtime frame for Bo Horvat to get the game-winning goal, assisted by Barzal, just 41 seconds in the overtime frame. So with the victory, the Islanders are 20, 15, and 11. They're trying to creep back into a wild card position, whereas the Dallas Stars, despite the loss, 27, 13, and 8, they're still sitting 3rd in that Central Division. All right, the next matchup takes place in Anaheim. We have the Ducks playing host to the New York Rangers. All right, let's take a look at the game review from this matchup. Adam Henrique would kick things off just 51 seconds in the opening period, getting his 13th goal of the season from Karlsson and Troy Terry. He would get his 2nd goal of the game late in that frame with 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go, his 14th of the season from Terry and Karlsson. So all those guys had 2 points in the first period combined. In the second, Trocheck would get a goal for the New York Rangers on a power play late in that frame, just 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining, his 15th of the season from Kreider and Adam Fox. In the third period, with just under 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact, Cooley would tie the game up, getting his 8th of the season from Trouba and Miller. Panarin will get a late power play goal with just under 6 minutes to go, 5 minutes and 37 seconds to be exact, his 28th of the season from Fox and Kreider. Speaking of Kreider, he would then double up the lead to 4-2, just under 2 minutes after that, getting his 22nd goal of the season from Zibanejad. And then VC would add an empty netter, getting his 9th of the season with just 36 seconds to go in the frame. So the Rangers would mount a comeback and get 5 straight goals after the Ducks went up 2-0 in the first. So with the victory, the Rangers, who are still sitting comfortably atop of that Metropolitan Division, have a record of 29, 15, and 2. And with a loss, the Anaheim Ducks are still second last in that Pacific Division with a 15, 30, and 1 record. All right, the last matchup from Sunday took place in Seattle, where we had the Kraken, who were playing host to the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were finishing off their Western road trip. All right, let's take a look at the game review from this matchup. In the first, Austin Matthews, big surprise, who else would open up the scoring? 7 minutes and 6 seconds in the frame, getting his 38th goal of the year, assisted by Mitch Marner. Robertson would increase the lead to 2-0 in the second period, assisted by Domi and Bertuzzi. That would be his 7th goal of the season, just 2 minutes and 51 seconds into that frame. Jordan Eberle would cut the deficit to 2-1 with just under 6 minutes to go, his 7th goal of the season, assisted by McCann and Thomas Tatar. There was only 1 goal to report, and that would be an empty netter from Jake McCabe, getting his 4th goal of the season with just 21 seconds to go in the frame, giving the Toronto Maple Leafs a 3-1 lead, and that would be the final score in this matchup. So with the victory, Toronto has now jumped back into 3rd place in the Atlantic Division with a record of 23, 14, and 8, and the Seattle Kraken, after the loss, are 19, 18, and 9, and they're just on the outside of the playoff hunt. And there's not really desperate times because we still have over 30 games respectively for all these teams. But You want to try and make a push now because you don't want to leave it till too late in the season. All right, that takes care of my recap from Sunday night of the NHL. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, take care.